In part one, we constructed a complicated frame for the most ambitious cosplay project I could ever have conceived of. And in this video, part two, we finally get stuck into the foam. We are now talking foam. We have a frame. We're checking stuff on top.
Yeah.
Please illuminate me. So Maggie from Lumen's workshop is providing me all the foam we need for this project. On a surface level, it might appear confusing, but Maggie and her team really helped me understand what is useful for what. I think we're set. Let's bring you to the studio right now. Whoa, it's like magic. She's here in our studio. Thanks for coming, Maggie.
Yeah.
I'm preparing myself. Those legs were so heavy. You know, like in Dragon Ball Z when they train in like 100 times Earth gravity and stuff?
Oh my God.
So I bought like 10 kilos worth of leg weight. We've got like 3 weeks till PAX, so I'm gonna wear these until PAX. I'm gonna start off with one set, and then in a week and a half, I'm gonna add another set, and then I think about 3 or 4 days before, I'm gonna take it off so I can recover, and we'll keep track of how much I regret this decision. We have done the skeleton inside this, and now I need your help to figure out how to do the skin.
Yes.
What do we do?
Okay.
So Maggie showed us what to do. And it turns out this roach that I 3D printed and painted is one of the most useful things I could possibly have made, because it is literally providing a 3D template for our build. Apparently, you can just cover an entire surface in masking tape, and with her expert eye, she's sort of deduced how these plates might be divided and where they would split, basically converting all these curved and organic surfaces into flat images and at a consistent scale, which we could then use to, using the grid transfer method, upscale to the size of the roach we would be making. But we hit a bit of a road bump after we had the first 2 pieces cut.
No. Okay, yes, they are too big.
It turns out our maths was slightly wrong. Fortunately, our maths was wrong in a really convenient way. We just happened to have done exactly twice the size that we wanted to end up doing. So by simply subdividing the grid that we traced onto, both small and big, we conveniently and accurately halved the size of all the pieces I needed to trace. And then we could smash through the process. I knuckled down on transferring and cutting out the paper templates, while the others set about cutting and gluing them all together. Oh my God, look at this come together. Oh, that's so good. This is great. Yeah. And it should be really solid on the frame.
Yeah, it will be.
I'll let you go, but in the meantime, we have a ton of work to do. The following day, the work continued. Me on the grids and templates, while Murray and Amy cut and glued the carapace piece by piece. And we slowly realized how stupidly big this project would be, he said halfway through part 2. I mean, I did realize this earlier. It's just becoming more and more apparent. The next day, I was by myself. Murray and Amy had finished all of the outer shells, and so I moved on my lonesome to the last carapace-covered section, and quite a tricky one at that. The head. Because obviously it's going to be the most crucial focal point, and it's going to have a bit of its own movement. I bought this thing, which is like one of those trash picker-upper thingies. So the idea is, from within my shell, I will be able to animate the jaw of the monster. Not only that, with a swivel pivot point in the middle, I should be able to look around. Now I cut all of my template pieces for the head with a much thicker foam, with at least a good inch of material, with the idea that I could later carve into and organically shape out the details of the head. Now this was actually my first experience using this foam. Murray and Amy had been using it for several days. I'd only cut little bits here and there, but oh my God, this stuff is so good. Like it just feels incredible to work with. The only other time I was doing cosplay-ish stuff with foam was in my Diablo giant sculpture build. And I was working with floor mats that you buy from Kmart or the hardware store, which is a great budget option, but it turns out the good stuff, it's really good, you guys. Even though the foam was quite thick, it felt really workable to shave back in areas. It adheres to itself extremely well with the contact adhesive, and it really feels shapeable in a surprisingly controllable way. And the results, I mean, I think they look better for it too. So now that I had both halves of my head shaped out, even though it was the very end of the week and we were a little bit over time, I had to see what it looked like with a little bit of animation. Obviously, I will spend more time finessing the mechanism, but the theory is, oh, there we go! Is it working? Sort of. Hello. I'm really friendly, actually. Okay, we have done a ton of work. We've carved out all of the foam pieces for all of the shell. I've roughed in the head. Next, we're gonna actually construct it, and I need to be able to wear it and get it to be functional. So we're gonna have to reinforce everything and stick it together, and I guess we'll see how heavy it is and if I can carry it. But that's a problem for next week, which is right now. So it's another week and another massive workload for another massive project. Amy and Maggie got stuck into reinforcing the shape of the back shell, one plate at a time. As we turn up the intensity on this whole operation, I'm turning up the intensity on my body conditioning. I have been working out a couple of times a week, just focusing on legs. And now it's time to up my leg weights to 5 kilos per leg to condition my body for the wearing, arduous, brutal task of trying to take a few steps in these things. Oh God. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, I had set about giving the claws their proper shape, cutting this nice thick foam to stick on either side of the aluminium claw skeleton, turning the arms from sticks into proper claws. We have all of the back plates roughed in now. They're not all glued because these ones are gonna have some articulation so I can move the head around. Come inside. It's literally like a frickin' mech. This is how much room I have inside. How the hell I'm gonna see in front of me, I have no idea. But this is the head, and that's where it sort of meets the front plate, and then I can rah, rah. The other thing to keep in mind, like that's the shoulder height. This is how tall it will be to the layperson walking around. It's gonna be huge. And the project itself is a mammoth task. We're gonna need more help, which is great because we have extra hands on board tomorrow. Jazza from the future here, just because I realized as we're editing this, I forgot to mention what we're doing all of this for. PAX Oz, I'm going to be there on Friday and Saturday, but I'm going to be there doing this on Friday. I'm going to hang out at Lumen's Workshop's booth pretty much all day. So if you want to come see me, say hi, get a photo or a signed copy of my book, come over to Lumen's Workshop's booth, and somewhere around midday, I'm going to put this thing on and go somewhere. Where? I don't know yet. And if you don't catch me while I'm in it in the brief window on that Friday, it will be set up and on display in the entrance to the Cosplay Lounge. See some of you at PAX. Day 2 of our 3-day smash, and we have moved the whole thing into Studio 2 so that we can assemble it with a bit of space, free up some space in there to make plenty more mess. But I'm gonna be like 1.5 foot higher, so I think we need to raise it to get the proper sense of scale. This is gonna become more of an ordeal every time I put on this suit. Oh, my legs hurt so much already. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna have to raise the height of this thing. We have a team change, come on in guys. We have Jason and Murray in today, and of course, Maggie, as always. All right, you guys are gonna have to take a stand each and lift it, and I'm gonna have to crawl under.
Oh, cool.
Because it's gonna be higher than this. Let's go. Prepare the suit. All right, I'm gonna crawl in. Okay. All right. Whose idea was this? So now we can lower. Everyone can come down. I think you guys can let go now. Grab an arm each. Bring me the claws. Okay. So this is what the assembly shall look like. It's pretty ridiculous, huh?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so this will be where we keep the body at, and then we can sort of come in and out as we need, as we continue to construct the beast. Maggie was here for a second day in a row and brought Jason with her from her workshop. So I moved on to adding layers of foam to the claws to give me material to carve away and shape into an alien form later, while Murray and Jason got stuck into making and transferring templates for the underside of the body, which will eventually be transformed into the chitin and sinew of the underbody. You'll see more of that really in part 3. Meanwhile, Maggie made a move on bulking out the legs with a plan she spent the night before trying to figure out. How to bulk them out without adding too much weight and to allow for support without making them too rigid for me to move in. I had to pull her away in the middle of her work, however, because once I'd finished the claws, I needed to learn how to put the head and the neck together so that the neck plates could articulate with my puppeteering motion. And this is done with elastic bands and D-rings.
Yeah. These are D-rings. We're gonna stick them down. One here, one here, one here. Then we just peel the sticky off the foam.
Yeah.
We're gonna thread it through here.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna anchor it in that line. And then where we stick these ones along this line is determined by how far you want this thing to stretch.
Yep. With Maggie taking me through the whole process of how to make articulating plates, I felt confident that I had the tools and materials I needed to do it myself. And honestly, like every step in this whole process, it all feels so doable, so much more doable than I ever imagined. I honestly can't thank Maggie and her team enough. Maggie, John, Jason, for not only providing us with all the materials for this build, but with their time and expertise. This is a mammoth project, and I absolutely would not be able to do this by myself. Not only are they helping me do it, they've made it more ambitious and big, and they're just in it every step of the way and helping us whether they're here or not here, helping us figure out some of the problems we're facing. Maggie and the team at Lumen's Workshop, thank you so much. And you guys watching this, go check out Lumen's Workshop, both on Instagram and TikTok and the website, because Lumen's Workshop sells all of the foam and all of the glue and I mean all of this stuff. She makes all this stuff. A lot of this is like her formulas. Maggie has put together a bundles page where you can get a mini beginner's bundle or a beginner's bundle to try cosplay foam armor making yourself. If you're looking for guides, there's plenty available on their website. And if you use the code JAZZA10, you get 10% off of their various products. Not the bundles though, because they're already heavily discounted. They have everything you need and ship worldwide. Go check them out with the link in the description. They are so awesome for making this possible and your future builds possible. Okay, so putting the arm in place. First of all, let's just take a moment to appreciate how this is coming together. That's looking really cool. Now I need to do something that's been needing to be done for a couple of weeks now. I need to put handles on this so I can actually properly move. The higher the handle, the more leverage I have. Obviously, I've got this here though, so I'll need to angle them in and forward is better. So this means cutting and welding again. While I was finalizing the claw handles, Maggie and the rest of the team were finalizing the bulking out of the legs. Now, it turns out a very useful part of this project would end up being one of the most surprising, your common cheap pool noodle. I mean, don't get me wrong, awful quality foam and really not great structurally, but turns out for bulking out and holding rough shapes without adding too much weight would be very useful. And the round outer edges we can also shave off and use to glue interweaving musculature that later we can cover with textures that we can add that chitiny sinew texture over top later. I have made the handles, and that is freaking cool. This is a mech, man. This is a big freaking mech. Now that the claws were much more manageable to control, it was time to piece together the head using the articulation attachment trick Maggie taught me. But instead of elastic, the ends of the neck and head are held together at their pivot points with cable ties, which means they can be cut away so that it can be separated for transport. But later, I can just simply attach new cable ties when it's time to suit up. And now with the head and the entire back carapace and arms all put together, I could finally try and figure out how the weight distribution and balance of this beast would work. So now I have a neck with some articulation. I haven't got the pole where it's going to be yet, but that's okay, we'll get there. The goal is, by the end of today, which is in half an hour, I can put the whole suit on. It's gonna be heavier than the last time I put it on. Now obviously we're bearing all the weight at the front with those poles, but I wanna try and see if I can put something in here where my shoulders will be. This is my fake shoulders, copyright. Okay, so what I wanna be able to do is take the weight off of these and counterbalance in the tail to see if I can get any sort of lift, not lift, but just balance. Yeah, okay. The glories of engineering. Speaking of which, if there's enough tape, it'll hold just fine. Gaffer tape is the solution to all life's engineering problems. Perfect. Okay, chuck me that big shot bag. All right, it's a heavy boy, but in theory, if I just pop this here, let's see what happens if I remove the support from the front. Oh, it's lifting. Now that's a how many kilo shot bag?
I think 10.
Oh, okay, that's heavier than we need. That's good. Okay, and then remove this. Oh, now it's fully forward. Now I put this on. Oh God. This is fine. This will be fine. Oh, okay. It's perfectly balanced.
As all things should be.
Next test, if I raise this bar, does it raise evenly? I'm also gonna get a feel for how heavy this thing is. Oh God. Now I got to do the thing up. Go Benny, you got this. Yes. Okay. Is it just me or is it, what the hell? Ho ho ho! Next test, the height I will be standing at, which is taller still. So up we go. Oh God. All right, look at that. Nothing's touching the ground. The whole thing's on the pole. Oh, damn. Oh my God. What have I done? Yeah, the problem is, if I'm gonna put this on, there's not enough room in here. A few things became clear as I began to don the Gidanue's skin, and now I can take these goddamn things off, and I'll be in a whole new world of pain putting on the legs. It would take a whole team to help me put on and take off this suit. Like a knight in armor needs squires, this roach needs roachlings. And I also learned that there would be no escaping the fact that I was just going to be covered in sweat when I became the beast.
Nebuchadnezzar reveals to me the Gidanue's yearning. He shows me what is in its simple mind. I begin to feel what it feels. I want what it wants. I am Gidanue. I am overwhelmed by an insatiable hunger, a desperate, ferocious need to consume. I must feed and replicate. I can smell the distant feast. So many fresh morsels, we can all sense them. At last, it is time to feed again.
I learned another thing the hard way, and that is that this suit gives me no way to rest. All right, get me out of this thing. Like, this was like holding mid squat or wall sit with weights, but I couldn't stand up or let go and release myself from it. Oh my God. And after just a few minutes, I was in excruciating pain that I couldn't release myself from. Can you get me that step ladder? Just right behind my butt, so I can sit on. I just need to sit. Yep, it's something. Ooh, oh my God. I need a signal, maybe one of my sounds, maybe like, maybe that's the sound for, holy shove something up my gooch. Oh.
There's your thumb up.
What am I doing? There are still challenges to figure out. It's getting cooler and heavier and more awkward, and we're still going. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Lumen's Workshop for literally supporting my ass through this whole project. And thank you for watching. Lest I forget to plug the book that this creature comes from, go check out The Ascendants, available on Amazon now in paperback and Kindle, and coming soon in audiobook. You can subscribe to my author's newsletter, where I'll be sending out an email update the moment the audiobook launches. You're really gonna love the book, especially if you love the vibe of this crazy creature. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on part 3. The clock is ticking, and I need to figure out how to wear this suit without begging for sweet release. And we still have to make all the muscles and sculpt all the foam and, you know, finish the monster.